Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video of Magic the Gathering of Arenas. Now, I know some of you might be like, oh, where was Monday's video? Well, after triumphantly recording the last video I needed to for Saturday, I thought that that's all I needed to do. So on Saturday, I forgot to record a video for Monday. Sunday came along, and I came to this realization, but Sunday is my rest day, so I didn't want to record a video. So unfortunately, or fortunately for me, rather, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday was my weekend. And this video, even though it's being recorded on a Monday, will be posted tomorrow for you all today. It's Tuesday, midday in East Coast. And tomorrow or Tuesday I will record Wednesday's video and so on until I remember that that's how it goes. I can't just be like, oh, Sunday's free or Saturday's free and not record anything for Monday. So, welcome back to Magic the Gathering Arena. I'm sorry for the wait, but I think you'll have thought it to be worth it, because today, instead of going into Historic Brawl with some haphazard deck with a bunch of counter spells, because that's what all of the blue decks have been, at least that I've made, we are going to do something particularly bluer. We are starting the Gale series. Now, as you see here in my 5 pockets, outside of all of these other decks that we might go to eventually, I like that one particularly, we have Cool Guy Gale, which is blue-white Gale, trying to synergize around Gale's cantrip-like features while also using Rabble Rousing and also having the Illuminator Virtuoso, Rafine's Informant, and Clever Lumimancer. Now, something that I learned while playing with this deck is that it needs a little bit of a revision. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 creatures out of 60 cards. And while to a degree that's fine, that's not as fine as what this deck wants it to be, because we're not a Counterspell Azorius control deck. So, this needs some revision, but we will likely still be playing it. Now, after that, we have Bad Guy Gale, which is blue-black beatdown control mixture. Because on turn 1, we have our choice between Dragonborn Looter, on a null just in case, a UC Guard approach if we want to tap a haste creature down, or, you know, later on in the game give an important creature hexproof, or Duress. And starting off with a turn 1 Duress, especially in Alchemy, can make some people leave the game. Turn 2, we have a counterspell that I'm preferable for, a negate, a power word kill, and our Soaring Thought Thief, which might do us a lot of favors in the near future. After that, we have a Find the Villain's Lair, Demogorgon's Crutches, and Poison the Cup, and now it's kind of similar to, like, we clear the battlefield so we can punch them really good. This is what mill decks lack, because mill decks focus around taking your deck and putting it in the graveyard rather than realizing that they're a beatdown deck. And just in case, I know, I just said it's a beatdown deck, but I couldn't help but add John. Look at him. He's so happy to be here. And look at Gale. I swear that's a smile on his face. And look at Xanathar. They're all just really, really happy dudes. And all the other creatures that we have till then are, well, trying to search through Ray to try and get here, or are simply giving us leverage and soaring through the skies to be able to get us here. Because if you have a power word kill, and yeah, you could use it on John, Gale, or Xanathar, Soaring Thought Thief will take advantage of that. And now we have Big Guy Gale, which you might be a little bit more familiarized with. This is a Simic Gale deck, still with Dragonborn Looter, still with Fading Hope, still with Snakeskin. Oh wait, excuse me, still with Dragonborn Looter, but Fading Hope, Snakeskin, Stony Strength, and Tamiyo's. Tamiyo's and Safeskin for protection, and these two for counters. That's because this is a counters deck. Big play for counters and change, Dragon's Guard Elite just in case, Ranger class for amazingness, Suit Up because it's really good, Villain's Lair because it's really good, Kazmina because I wanted to put a Planeswalker in here, Quadrink's Command because I can't skip out on it, and Quadrink's Pledge Mage just in case I don't get that either. And then we have Gale, and to kind of make things more difficult because of Gale's green side, we have Toski. The indestructible little rat. I know. He's not unblockable. But it's not about him being unblockable. He is indestructible. And putting tokens on an indestructible body, even though it's a one-off because I don't want to spend more rares on this deck because I'm out, that's enough to win us games. And then we have Tanazir, Quadrinks, making counters doubled when it comes into the battlefield. And speaking of doubling, we have Vorinclex. Of course, is a one-off, but when Vorinclex and Quadrinks enter the battlefield, and let's say we have a Dragon's Guard Elite, it is just insane. I was able to hit someone for 100 million damage with that combo. And of course, because we can't skip out on it, signature spells. Why? Because we can hit that, we can hit that, and we can hit that. And if we hit Suit Up, then these are constantly being buffed. And if we hit Quadrink's Command, then awesome, again, constantly being buffed. And if we hit Find the Villains there, then we can just draw through our deck to try and find a Toski, to try and find a Vorinclex, to try and find a Quadrinks, or to try and find Gale. Because unfortunately, we can only afford 2 copies of him in all decks. But that's Big Guy Gale. And then we have Angry Guy Gale. Now, you don't want to meet Gale when he's angry, because this deck should not work, but it does. We have 1 mana removal, 2 mana removal, and a buff spell, plus a wonderful body. Now I get it, 2-drop, 1/3, a lot of people will say that's bad, but hear me out. It's where the 3 drops are at. Come to a river, give things bonuses, can't be blocked. Displacer Beast here for a body, and evasion. Brittle Bast for damage. Burn Bright for body bonuses. Call in a Professional for damage. Demon Bolt for damage. Goblin Gathering because I think one of them in this deck would be hilarious. It's just 2/1/1 goblins every turn. We have the 2 mana, 3 mana, 2 damage treasure token, just as removal with treasure, just in case. And Wish. We never want to be playing this card, let's be honest. Which brings us to Gale, which brings us to a better Body Warriors of Tiamat. Disposable, but good because of it. And then we come to the actual center point of this deck, signature spells. If I could run Arcane Bombardment, trust me, I would, but that is Mythic, and as you saw, we are lacking Mythics. So signature spells will have to do. Because there are so many 3-drops to choose from, we will undeniably get 2 choices from signature spells, no matter how late into the game we are in. And we can hit Wish, which is amazing because we'll be literally just dishing stuff out, not having to do certain things, and Wish lets us pull from our sideboard. We have improvised weaponry, which is amazing when you don't have to pay for it. Goblin Gathering, which is funny every turn. Demon Bolt, which is good removal. Good buffs, good removal, and good buffs. And that's what this deck is. It's a beatdown, signature spells deck. Gale is here, and Gale can make it better, but signature spells carries this deck. And last, we have normal guy Gale, and a lot of you might be familiar with this Gale, because, well, let's just be honest, it's mono blue control. There's no doubt to it. We have Jenny G taxes. We have a Hullbreaker Horror, Air Cult Elementals, Skywarp Scabs, because why not? Rhyme Shield Frost Giant is a one-off for the Ward 3. Mind Flayer to steal Imrith because Imrith. Gale has to be here to be Gale. Rooftop Nuisance to be a nuisance. Frost Trickster to be a nuisance. Counterspell, Bounce Spell, and a Seek-ish. It lets us look at our cards. It's a Looter, another Looter, a Bounce Spell, and a Scry. This entire deck is a traditional blue deck down to its core, at least for what Arena is. And we have all of these decks to traverse Alchemy for. Now you might be asking, oh, but you didn't highlight Gale for some of the colors. Well, I will read them off now. Blue Gale. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery card, draw a card, then discard a card. Not necessarily the best for Wizard class Mordekainen combos, which is why they're not here. But it lets you seek the cards that you need sometimes, and seek the cards that you want sometimes. White, as you haven't even seen it yet, excuse me. When you cast an instant or sorcery, create a 1/1 white Pegasus. So the entire idea behind the white-blue deck is to go wide with cantrips and tokens and rabble-rousing, which it can have difficulty in doing so, and because we lack creatures, it gets hard. Excuse me. Black, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, each opponent loses 2 life, which is why he becomes evil, because that's just really good. Red, creatures you control get +1/+0 whenever you cast a sorcery spell or an instant, but it's perpetually. So it makes things harder, better, it's weird. And green, as you're familiar with, put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature whenever you cast an instant or sorcery. And so each and every deck that we have wants to synergize with Gale in one way or another. Even though an Angry Guy Gale or Bad Guy Gale, you don't need Gale, especially in Big Guy Gale. But it still synergizes around the idea of that card. And even though a lot of these decks you might go, oh, those are casual decks, you could never get to Mythic like that, that's the fun in trying. Because this will not be a 1 month, half a month series. This will be a long series of trying to get to Mythic with Alchemy Gale. Now, if for whatever reason Alchemy decides to have a rotation, then that's when we're choosing to not play Alchemy anymore. Because Historic is just more fun, and, well, in that situation, we'll just go back to Historic Brawl. I could show you my Lorzen Izzet deck, but that's only in the worst case scenario. So, we will be starting from absolute zero. Bronze. And we will be starting it off with Angry Guy Gale, to try and get through the games as quickly as possible and get a feel for what the Alchemy meta is in Bronze, or what it might be today. Because all of these decks are here not really for content, but so that I'm not stuck with a very specific deck that gets countered by what people want to play today in Alchemy. Because tomorrow, that can change. So, we're going to keep this hand. We have a 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop, and then a 6-drop. And so, you know what? I think I'm gonna hold my 1-drop for now, because if they're playing mono white aggro because they think that Alchemy is just a longer version of Standard that they can play their first decks in, then perfect. I think they're on full control. But no, I am simply lagging. Because we held up our 1-drop, we get to deal with that before it becomes an issue, which is amazing for us. Then we'll play out our Sworn Guardian. You know, not much, not anything special. Next turn, we have a Call in a Professional in case they play anything silly or stinky or smelly. And then we have 2 turns of an unknown that our top cards could decide. Like if we draw Gale, then awesome. That, unfortunately... Whew. I don't think they read that card. because if they bounce it, then it gets buffed when it comes back. I don't have a removal for it on my turn, so that's good for me. Wonderful. Now we have Antagonize, which might be really good. I kind of want to run this into them with the Antagonize. It's an instant, too. So now they'll have to think, do we want to block the Sworn Guardian? They don't? Oh, boy. Well, I'll hold that Antagonize, then. Will they hit me? Probably really hard, yeah. But will that stop me from playing Call in a Professional on their Giada because they want to play Angels and Alchemy? No. No, it will not. Are Angels a good archetype? No, yes. Yes, they are. Angels, no matter where they are, realistically, are really, really good, in my opinion. Now, this is because of a bunch of silly cards needlessly buffing them. I'll hold on to this. Should I? No. We're racing. But this is because of a bunch of needless cards that exist, like Giada, like Impress, Orator, which makes life gaining better, Skyline Savior, and so on and so forth. If we don't draw a land, it'll be a sad day. And there's just a lot of really good Angel cards, as since the dawn of time, Angels have been really, really good. There's our land, and now we can race better. And we all attack, swing in for 5, which is a lot more than they can deal with. And we have an improvised weaponry in case they spawn in a chump blocker or want to hold back Skyline Savior. Of course, it won't be enough if they block the Guardian, but beautiful! They don't know what double team is! Awesome! This is what I kind of expected runs to be. This really is just a starter white deck with some alchemy cards thrown in. And well, yeah, I don't blame them because this is bronze. What I do kind of blame is, well, you could do this in normal alchemy. Why would you do that in ranked? And it's probably because, you know, 2 removals, let's go. It realistically is probably because it's a mono white deck. How am I supposed to beat a mono white deck? Sort of idea. Oh, that is wonderful, I think. Even better. I don't mind that at all, because that is dying, that will die, and there's not much they can do about it. I race better. I simply race better. And that's the issue. Mono white is not that good. Mono white will not carry you through games, and a lot of people think that it will. And because of that, a lot of people take this kind of bad mono white Angels-ish deck into ranked. Awesome, thanks for the pacify. I still hit you with Bolt. And so they don't know how to deal with this. They don't know how to deal with a good deck. And when this good deck eventually comes around, there's not much they can do about it. And that's why, well, bronze is just weird. Bronze helps you realize that these cards are not as good, even though white is, in my opinion, bloated. It's good that we sit here now and this person is allowed to realize that their deck is kind of bad. Wish! No, of course, I know some people are going to say, we're never going to be wanting to hard cast Wish, but trust me, it's all a part of my plan. Going to Magma Opus next turn, and there's nothing they can do about it, even if they top deck Pacifism. But please, friends. Oh, wait. Well, you know, it's still a win! And that's the important thing. When you're going into ranked, either take a pre-made deck online, copy-paste it, do the thing that you would do with a very strong deck. Just copy-paste it in, win your way to Mythic. and have it be that. You can do that. You can definitely do that. But don't try and throw your hand in slightly altering the base deck that you get for joining the game yesterday. That won't save you. That won't do you any favors. So if you're going to make your deck, try and make it from scratch. And if you don't want to make a deck from scratch, then please just copy-paste the deck online. It's fine. It's fine. No one's gonna blame you for it. I won't. I sure as heck won't. I can't foretell that. I'm screaming. Oh, that's the altered cost, I see. But yeah. And I bet you that we are probably going to lose this game. Because first off, no signature spells. Second off, 110 card deck. Well, a lot more. And we're very, very low to the ground. I kick your teeth in deck. So red might not have been the right choice for Gale in this scenario. But hey, you live, you learn, and sometimes you can't help it. Because what am I to do? Am I supposed to predict that I'm going to play against an actually made deck in bronze? In bronze 1? No. Now that's perfect. Because it's that could very well definitely be a commander, but unfortunately I have removal, so get that off my board, please. And well, I'm having to play on the verge, on the tip here, if you will, because he made his own deck. He made it from scratch. Even though it's 113 cards plus 7, so 120 cards, hey, you know, he still probably has about half of those lands, and everything else is really good cards that he likes. You know, maybe killing his commander made him get up and leave like some of the other people in Historic Brawl, but he made his own deck. I'm scared. I might definitely lose this game. Because I don't know what he could pull out. I can't predict that he's going to play Pacify. I couldn't predict that Expedition dude. Now that's awesome. Now unfortunately, I don't like that. So get it out of here. But in any other situation where I'm not running Removal Tribal, that would be awesome. Utility Knife looks pretty cool. It seems he might be running an enchantment equipment mono white deck. That's interesting. I can't wait to see more of it. Now what he's not gonna expect is that I'm gonna swing in. I'm gonna swing in and he's probably gonna double block just in case to try and kill it, or single block, who knows. We antagonize. It kills it, undeniably. And then we pull this out and kill the double striker, because that can very, very quickly become an issue. And that's not what we want. We don't want any issues on this board. It's 18 to 21. Again, I'm mono removal tribal. And I think that I'm playing this game fine enough. Frick. Well, I play out Gale. I return something from my graveyard to my hand because Gale does that. Fun fact. If you didn't know. Because a lot of people might not know. And it can really, really help with specializing him, because you can just pull it out, and when you specialize him, discard the card that you pulled out. And that's important to some people. I might keep this, I might play it, I don't know. Unsure. Might discard it immediately. But I will hold on to it for now and attack with my 1/3 body that he can't do much about. Unless, of course, he has a funny thing. And I'm going to foretell this because I don't have anything to do, and hopefully he forgets about it. Let's see. Well, 2 cards might be put on for free, or that might... I'll take the 3. But do I need to deal with that? That answer is yes. So unfortunately, he gets to put some things onto the battlefield for free. But we're hoping that he whiffs or doesn't hit anything good. No paladin class, no, like, a Ganjo. No, hopefully an expedition supplier. No fencing ace, and befriending the moths. Why? I still raise him better. Why would he choose that? Maybe because of the +1/+1 flying 4 damage that I can't block, but I still do 4 damage, and I'm ahead in life. That might be why. Now let's hope to draw into one of our removals. If we get it, then awesome. Not it. But, you know, we can scry. We don't need another Gale. No attacks, and that, well, fortunately, awesome. But befriending the moths is a flyer. It's a 2/4, and that really is going to come to bite us back. But there's not much that we can do against that when we don't have much good cards in our deck. We don't have much fumes, but by gosh, we try. And that's the thing. That's our deck. So he's going to attack with the 7/7, become an 8/8 because Samurai, and then it goes down to a 6, and that is what we call game. But we're still gonna go down swinging. Unfortunately, that Owl of Dawn Sky was really good, and we didn't really have any viable removal options for it. So, it happens. If I were him, I would have just taken that face because that was 5 damage, and I would have swung back harder. And this is very important when making decks, unless you want to lose probably half of your games. Try and give it more steam. Give it more oomph to the push, and let it be interesting. Let it have high highs, but try to make the low lows not as low as you can. Now we're going to swap off of Angry Guy Gale to Normal Guy Gale. You know, I feel like Gale came in a little bit too agitated today and was like, hey, you know what? I need to chill out. I need to set back to neutral. And so Gale went from an angry guy trying to come in ranked, fists ablazing. I feel like Gale realized that maybe he needs to take things a little slow. Maybe he needs to take things a little bit slower, to be specific. For the record, we never mulligan on this channel. Never ever. Unless it's a custom game, never. Depart the Realm Foretell sucks. And so, well, we're going to take this opportunity to Fading Hope that. Let him not ramp with Celestia. Pull off the Reject from the top of our deck. And then we're going to counter it next turn. Because who's going to stop us? Certainly not him. Can he pay for 3? I don't think so. And that's Normal Guy Gale. Normal Guy Gale can go any way, but he's slow, he's methodical, and he's willing to let you walk into his trap. He might have that darning smile on his face, but he sure as heck is not that good of a man. He will stab you in the back, without any shame. Well, let's foretell this, because we still get to bounce and counter next turn. And we wait. We play Normal Guy Gale with a cool head, and do the traditional wizard thing, which isn't throw a fireball, it isn't cast Speak with animals, it isn't any of that. The wizard thing is to be utility and to make sure that your friends don't get stomped. by silly, stinky stuff that you could have prevented. And if that means counterspell bounce, counterspell bounce, counterspell bounce, then so be it. Because at the end of the day, we are here for content, but that's why I'm here narrating. Excuse me. At the end of the day, we're here to win ranked games. And I don't think 123, that's me, was prepared for that. Because if he was, then I probably wouldn't be getting stalled out. He probably wouldn't have gotten up. He will not be playing that. One more land, baby! If he plays a creature, awesome. If he doesn't, brick. And now at the end of his step, bounce it back to his hand. And then play the scab. I can't draw the card off of it because I don't have any creatures. By gosh, is it a 2/5 body? And does he not have anything to counter it? Because everyone wants to... Why? Frick. Well, you know, one more land, and we get an Air Cult Elemental. Are we going to draw that land? Most definitely not. But what we will do is bounce something back to his hand. Because we are slow, we take our time, and we accept things for how they are at face value, which is what wizards are. Wizards don't cope, wizards don't seethe, wizards don't mauld, but what wizards do are get mad on the Reddit forums when they don't draw the land that they needed to, and you know for a fact after this game I'm going to type up a storm. You know, Imrith works, actually. And that's the nature of this deck. There's big things, there's small things. There's never a mid-mid, a low-low, or a high-high. It is all just barely away from that. And that is what is most important. Not that you're gaming out of your mind, or not that you're losing out of control, but instead that you are consistent. That you are gamering, as some of the big boys say. And with the Wind Cult, Air Cult Elemental, I will bounce that back and not swing with Imrith to threaten a blocker, and to also still have a ward 4 on that bad boy. And with one more card or land, we get to play Hullbreaker Horror, the Alchemy version of it, which does not much different, to be fair, but it does stuff. Every mono blue deck that it was in, like, Innistrad ran it, so it has to be good, right? Right? Please say yes. And I get to play Mind Flayer instead. Let's go! And I steal that. It has Summoning Sickness, and I swing in with the 2/5 because green decks don't have a way to stop you if you attack, but they have a way to stop you regardless, and that is what I am banking on. This is the board presence that we want. This is the control that every blue player thirsts for. Yes, I might be empty-handed, frick. Yes, I might not have counterspells or any form of control when it comes to what they play and what they don't play, but I have board presence. And that is a lot more than what any other blue mage can say. Because for whatever reason, blue mages don't care, so they just run their face into you with, like, this epic and awesome, like, show and play, and they're like, ahaha, counterspell, and then you're like, okay, I play it again, and they're like, wait, please stop, no, please stop, no, and you're like, yes, and there's not much else the blue player can do about it. But when you run this version of the blue deck, it is just so gut-punchingly painful, like somebody ripped off a limb. Because it's just counterspell, board presence, in the right notes perfectly. Now, am I a master at building decks? If I was trying to be funny, I'd say yeah, definitely, 100%. But In actuality, I'm not the best. I still make flaws. Every blue deck that I make has counter spells, and if they don't, they're bad. So, even though I'm not the best, let this be inspiration to you, fellow viewer of mine, my friend, to not be scared, stick with the tradition or copy paste stuff off of the internet because you don't want to make a deck. Take the initiative and make your own fun little spin-off deck that no one else can say that they have. Who can officially say that they have this Mean Man Gale deck? I know no other man that can. I know no one else that can do that. That is because this is the meanest, manniest version of Gale. So mean and manny that I'm playing up against a high silver player right now. Watch, this is gonna be awesome. And I would not doubt if they surrendered after that. And that's kind of how things go. That is how things go. I'm going to pink him for one. He won't be able to pay for make this appear, assumedly, because he'll be, he's gonna play them out because we're playing. And that's his epic, cool Planeswalker counterspelled. Never do this. If you're running blue, be blue control light. Don't beat down like this. It won't work. It won't work. And now that's 2 cards in his fabulous hand gone. That is this wonderful, wonderful Altar of Ball annihilated. Tasha, the unholy mage, completely disappeared. And 2 cards in his hand that he has to choose. Gone, plus Cridle, plus Dream Fracture. 3 mana counterspells are overrated. And I know I have it right here. Frick. But will he remember to +1? He does. Frick. Okay. But that will not stop us. It certainly will not stop us. You are going to discard that hand, lose 2 life, and mill 2 cards. What are you going to do about it? He can't do anything about it. And he +1s Tasha. I don't like Tasha. I don't think Tasha's funny. I don't think she's cool. I'm trying to think about this. You know what? I think I'll give it hexproof to try and negate the minus counters that it would get traditionally. And then swing it to her face. Okay, so it doesn't negate that, even though that's an ability. Awesome. I guess because it's any, it doesn't technically count, but there's a really good chance that he has no intention of playing creatures, so that and that are useless. Yeah, and that's just how it goes. And that... Wait, 2 Xanathars. I can just poison the cup on 1 Xanathar. I have to wait for him to choose. And then... I poison Xanathar's cup. He draws the card, discards it immediately. I play this, I power word. That's a dragon, frick! Okay, so we are going to hold the Villain's Lair just in case. But what we will do, however, is activate this ability to get rid of that. Go next, pass priority, and be ready to counter whatever he might have ready. Because we can do that, because 3 mana counterspells are useful. Yeah, he discarded a land, so he's gonna play that epic Soul Knife Spy, but little does he know, am I countering his spell? There's nothing he can do about it. The sad fate that awaits everyone. passes his turn. Mills. What do I draw? The happiest land I could have ever drawn. A dismal backwater. Oh boy, and a negate. This is perfect. It might not look it, but I promise you this is perfect. This is a game-winning hand. And his silly draw a card, discard a card with the Saga is now gone, and we're having to face a 2/3 flyer. Man, I wish I kept that removal, but it's all a part of the ultimate plan. He won't be able to stop us, and we get to counter the Altar of Ball again, which probably gets him a little bit upset. It'd get me upset. I'd go, again? 17 cards in his graveyard, and that's not a creature. So he doesn't get to put a +1/+1. Are you joking, dude? Land, 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 please. You know, Duress, that's cool. It's a sorcery, though, so it doesn't matter, because he's going to play the top of his deck anyway. Oh, gosh, Gig. I wish this was an instant so I could just beam that card out of his hand. And he chooses to draw a card, discard a card. That means it's a land! Yes! And I can't do anything about that. And he discards it immediately, which is a land. That's not a creature. Awesome. So it isn't indestructible. Ow, 2 hurts. But now we finally have a blocker, and this is a 1/1. Yes! See, I told you, it is all according to plan. And gosh darn am I happy that he did not get that Ancient Brass Dragon. Will he still get it, though? Yes. And will Side of Myrkull go off? Yep. But do I care about that? Definitely. Definitely. But does that matter? No. He chooses to discard the Ancient Brass Dragon because of the Shadowheart Shaharan Cleric, and he doesn't realize that Specialize needs a card in your hand. So he mills another one, he puts a +1/+1 counter on something, and it gains Death Touch until end of turn. Why would he do that? That's funky. Yes! Yes! That is my win con, and I love to see that. I will Power Word Kill back into my hand. Power Word Kill something that I do not like, and I will continue my turn happily. I'm gonna make it the flyers so that he can't block my rogues, so that I can continually swing in. Even though that's the 3/3 coming in, I have a 1/1 blocker and a 2/3 chumper that can turn into a chumper whenever I need it to be. So I'm just gonna choose to mill with the Soaring Thought Thief, get 2 damage in, be awesome, and then Specialize next turn, get rid of Duress because we're both not going to have more cards than that. Oh, we both have 26 cards in our deck. Unfortunate. But is he milling me? No, I'm milling him. And that, my friends, is what's important. Will something get a +1/+1 and a Death Touch counter? Most certainly. But I don't care about that. Who would care about that? No one. No one in their right mind. Please help, I'm coping. But, we're still hypothetically in a lead, and that's what matters. So long as he doesn't realize that Vector Glider should get the Death Touch, well, it would be until end of turn. But if it becomes a 3/4, then that ruins my Thought Thief. But if he doesn't realize that and just keeps trying to buff up the Shadowheart, beautiful, perfect even. And what's even better is that he's going to Specialize Blue, baby! He's probably going to put it on the Vector. Unfortunate, dude! Frig! And I'm going to chump with the 1/1 so we don't take 5 damage. And I'm going to hope that something off the top is good. It's a sorcery of some sort. is an instant that can kill something, is a power word kill type beat. But it's Xanathar, and I'll take it. I really will. This is not a joke. I don't care. If he swings in, kills both things, I don't care. I don't. I really don't. I'm going to keep the Thought Thief back because that will need to be blocking, and we're kind of at a very uneven pass, which is where a lot of games tend to turn around because then things just kind of go, oh, because I don't draw anything I need, but they draw everything they need, but that's why the comeback exists. You know, you wouldn't get it. It's a comeback to a comeback to a comeback. I don't mind taking 3 in the air because that means that I can mill them. I've put both of those over there, and he probably gets the choice to bring damage to like 1/1, deal 1 damage to both, and kill both still. He chooses to draw a card, discard a card. Wonderful. I lost my looter. Exactly as I said, 1 damage in the front, 5 damage in the back. Unfortunately, I will duress that hand. I will see what it has behind it. Yeah, that's fine. And then I'll swing in for 2. He has 16 cards left in his deck. And I'll end turn hoping that he somehow maintains 2 cards in his hand to discard with Demigorgon's Clutches. Now, if the top of his deck is insane, which it isn't, it's a land, awesome, then I'm happy. Will I slowly but surely be bled out of this game like some sort of leech? Yeah. But, you know, we're going for the mill plan, and that's what's important. This game will be close. It will not be easy for either of us. And that's what makes winning so much better, and that's what makes losing so much more warranting of wanting to do better, because it was just that close. So he's probably going to double swing because he can't, you know, he wants to deal 3 damage. Unfortunately, that's that, and then I, you know, do this, he loses 2 life. 4, 5, 6. Awesome, got the Bronze Dragon away. 10 more cards in that deck. If he double swings, he dies. Unless he can remove Soaring Thought Thief, which I hope to gosh that that card in his hand is a land. If it isn't, then it very, very well can be game. Yes! He probably wants to put it on, like, on someone, on the flyer. He might hold the flyer back, or he could swing with both and throw the game into my hands, which he won't. Whew, we are getting a little bit too close here. I want him to hold back the glider just in case, dude. If he does, it's awesome. If he doesn't, it hurts. Wait, if he swings with that, I just take 5 damage from... And then I win! And then I win! Not only did I mill him out of his entire deck, not only am I at 2 HP, but I also beat him to death. This is awesome! This is why bad guys are never happy. This is the exact reason as to why you don't see any villains around anymore. Because in all honesty, it sucks to be a villain. It sucks to be a terrible, terrible person in this world. And you get punished for it. You get punished for it hard. And, you know, even though you didn't get to see big Gale or, you know, hero Gale, I think that's where we're going to end today's, you know, recording, end today's video. I'm going to open some packs for all of the people that care, and for the record, please like and subscribe. I try and save it till the end. I might do it in the middle. I might change it up and do it at the beginning from here and then. But that's that's because it really does help a lot. These videos are... Having a constant upload schedule is difficult for me to get to, especially since there's so many other stuff that I need to do. Not that I want to, but that I need to. And I'll get to those things, but having the sub on this video showing me that I can do these things and have a lot of fun, it helps a lot. And then we'll get Fiend Lash. Pretty okay, not the best. Breath Weapon, awesome for Dragon decks. Seek New Knowledge, fine. Minimus Containment, Thieves' Tools, Rhyme Shield, and Jaded Sellsword are all fine cards. Guildsworn Prowler is fine. So, today, we played 3 games and barely won, won or lost some of the 3 games. Thank you all for watching this video. Please like and subscribe if you have the opportunity, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.